Andy Stevenson for Severe MMA, and I'm joined with Cage Warriors lightweight contender, Fat Joe McColgan. How are you, Joe?
Yeah, feeling good. Training away. Just
You're
after
you're,
finish
you're laughing at
box.
the nickname there.
What's that?
Why are you laughing at the nickname?
I'm just laughing thinking about the person who came up with it and their physique at the moment. Niall McGrath.
That's a terrible thing to say about Niall McGrath.
Niall Ironic McGrath. But anyway, yeah.
So you
Actually,
just
I don't know why he came up with that name. I really don't. I think it was because I was away in New Zealand and I was eating a lot of food and I was gaining a few pounds around the waistline. That was
yeah,
probably it. But I'm in good shape now, so I think the name needs to be scrapped.
you don't
And
like it now.
you and Niall are the few people, the only two people that really use it. So it's better
But that,
fucking.
that they were the only ones that matter, though.
Yeah, that's true.
So you just finished up a boxing session, did you?
Just finished up a boxing session. Training full time now, so I get to train during the day. I get to train in the evening, and I get full recovery without having to get up for work. So, training's just amazing at the moment. Really
Yeah.
enjoying it.
And so obviously you mentioned there that you're training full time now. So you had a job. What I suppose what's gone on now, and how did this come about that you end up training full
Um,
time?
we, there was an opportunity in work to leave, and I took that opportunity, and with the hope that I could train full time and put all my focus and energy into getting to the UFC. And that was back in August, a few weeks before the Mehdi Ben Lakhdhar fight. And within days of leaving work, I could see the difference. Or sorry, not even see the difference. I could feel the difference.
Yeah,
Um, I was really enjoying training when I wasn't stressed about going off on my lunch and doing a training session or waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning to go to work, not fully recovered. I was able to be relaxed going to training, um, taking full recovery, getting quality sessions in. It was just a really good decision, and I feel that it was reflected in the fight. I felt like I put on a good performance, and I really do believe that's because I was able to train properly for the first time ever in my career. I've always said about training, full time. I think that you can do both, and I still think you can do both. It's just a lot bloody harder. And I'm getting older now, so um, having a few fights while training full time, it's good for me. So I'm really enjoying it. Don't regret a thing.
yeah, and you've obviously, as you mentioned, you've spoken a lot in the past about how you've kind of seen work as more of like a healthy distraction, and that it's not a, as you said, you could do both. Is it more just kind of with maturity and as you've kind of, as you mentioned, like you're getting a little bit older now? Is it just a mindset change or?
It's not. It's not really a mindset change. I didn't really realize it until I did it. That it was much better. I suppose training was becoming a chore for me.
Yeah,
Um, when I was working, I was 9 to 5, and outside of that, every minute of my life was either training or preparing for training. So, I get out of work, I'm straight up the motorway to the gym. I do 3.5 hour session, and then I come home and I'm getting my stuff ready for the next morning to go to work and all my food and all. So I literally had no life. It was just train and work,
yeah,
and it wasn't enjoyable anymore. It was like having two jobs, whereas now my job is to fight, and all my focus and all my energy is into my training sessions, and nothing stressful about it. I get to go
yeah,
about my day. Everything's nice and relaxed. I'm not rushing to and from the gym. I'm getting to enjoy my recovery and enjoy my life outside of the gym, which is something I haven't really been able to do when working a full time job and
yeah,
training. So, and I used to say it was a healthy distraction, but it was a healthy distraction, but I don't need that anymore. I'm a veteran of this game now. I've had, this will be my 20th fight coming up on court, between amateur and pro. So I've been doing it a long time. I'm experienced, and I don't need any distractions. I can maintain full focus on the fight, and I don't need anything to distract me from that.
yeah. And obviously, you mentioned your fight with Mehdi Ben Lakhdhar there. An incredible performance from both of you guys, an absolute war of a fight. Obviously, ended in a draw. I'd just like to know kind of what's like in that third. You took the first 2 rounds. The third round was scored as a 10-8 for Mehdi. When you kind of performed so well in those first 2 rounds, and then he started putting it on you in the third, what's going through your mind when just when that's going on?
In the third round, I was just thinking, don't go down, just stay on my feet, and just try and walk him down and be safe as well. Put the pressure on him, but I couldn't really do much. He was throwing everything at me, and he needed to. He was 2 rounds down. I really feel like I could see it in his eyes in the second round. I saw him looking at the corner, and I've seen that before. That look on fighters before, where they don't know what to do. He was lost in there, and understandably so. I had taken his best weapon away from him, which is his boxing. This is a man who boxed for France. He boxed all his life, and he was being outboxed. So I had taken his best tool away from him, and he didn't really know what to do. But in the third, this showed the caliber of fighter that he is. He was able to pull it out of the bag, hit me with an up kick to the chin, followed by a hook, and then that just put my legs away. And from there, he was just throwing everything he needed to. He needed to finish the fight, in my opinion, to get the win. And it was all I needed to do was survive, and that's what I did. Looking back now, I feel a wee bit hard done by getting the draw. At the time,
do you feel that it was unfairly scored as a 10-8, the third round?
I could see an argument for it, but I believe that it should have been a 10-9 only. I broke the fight down, and he had 2 minutes 45 seconds of dominance in that third round. But I started off the first minute and 15 seconds in control, and I finished the last minute in control. I had him down. So I finished the fight standing over him, with my arms in the air. What fighter does that after getting a 10-8 round? They don't do that. So I just don't feel. I felt I did enough to prevent the 10-8, having watched the fight back again. So I feel like a wee bit hard done by. But do you know what? I still walk about like I won the fight. I feel like I won the fight. I have the same feelings of like I would normally have after winning a fight. It's just that my record hasn't moved, and that's the annoying thing. I put in a lot of work for that fight. I worked hard in the fight, and I beat a really good guy. Well, sorry, I drew against a really good guy, and my record doesn't reflect that, and that's the frustrating thing at the end of the day. But I had opportunities to finish him in the second round, and I should have taken it. I've had plenty of opportunities. Actually, in almost all of my fights, I've wobbled guys, and I've had an opportunity to finish them, and I just haven't taken it. But now, I realize that I can't let those opportunities go by. I need to pounce on them, and in my next fight, you're going to see a wild Joe McColgan back again, and I'm going to be all over this guy, whoever he is, to put him away in the first round. Everything in my power to finish these next guys who are line them up, whoever they are. I'm going to go out to finish them all.
Yeah, and I know that you mentioned there that you kind of feel a bit disappointed that your record obviously doesn't reflect what you see as a win. I mean, personally, from my point of view, I'd be interested to know if you agree with this, but that draw, I don't think either of your stock dips after a fight like that. I think that both of you, just the absolute war that went on in the cage, it was a high level fight, and then the two of you, there's a kind of image of the two of you on top of the cage together. And then obviously the post-fight press conference you did together. I think that both your stocks rise in the division there. Would you agree? Despite
I think have gone up after that fight 100%. Sorry, everything. People will be looking at him and thinking, oh, he did really well in that third round. He showed a great mindset to stick by it after losing 2 rounds convincingly, and then to try and almost put me away in the third. And then people will think, whenever they look at me, they'll be like, right, he showed a high skill set to outbox the boxer as such, and then also survive the third round. So I think we both came away as winners, and I'm happy enough with that. It's only that obviously the record, it doesn't reflect that. But anyway,
of course,
they asked for a rematch after the. And to be honest, I I want to move on. I want to go on to bigger and better things. I'm looking to climb the ladder. I'm looking to take out other guys, but I could almost see me and Mehdi next year at some point in Paris, main event for the title. That would be something special. Like, I mean, if I was to rematch him, that's how I would visualize that rematch would go down.
Yeah, obviously, my opinion doesn't matter in this, but I would be of the same mindset where the two you had a great fight. Your stock have risen considerably. There's no point in doing the rematch right now. Yes, have it later down the road, but go off, fight whoever you each respectively want to fight for the next few, and then let it build up a bit more, and perhaps maybe be for a title later on, or who knows, later down the road. One thing I wanted to bring up, so your teammate Paul Hughes was obviously in your corner that night. I saw a very interesting post on Instagram by Paul, and I'll just read it out. So I believe it said, "The best couple in MMA, prove me wrong." I'd just like to know what your fiance thinks about that. And of course, there was a photo of yourself and Paul.
Oh, she knows what Paul's like, so I don't think she's too worried. Like, he's like having, you get a new dog and it's a wee puppy, and it's just, you like having it about, but it does your fucking head in every day. It doesn't listen to you. It does what it wants, and it's so much energy. That is Paul Hughes. He's like that wee puppy that you want, but that you don't want at the same time. Anyway, to describe Paul Hughes.
And so, I suppose, can you discuss like your relationship with Paul? The two of you are obviously good teammates, sparring partners, training partners. You've been over to Italy together, cornering each other, and now you're both. He's finally gotten that contract with Cage Warriors. What's it like to have a teammate and a close friend like that with you in Cage Warriors, and the both of you cornering each other? Is that like does that give you an extra boost on fight night?
Yeah, it really is. I actually said to my the coaches that it was great having both Paul and Ian Gary out the back. Ian Gary, he isn't even from our team, but like just having guys who are that confident, they have so much belief in themselves. It kind of rubs off on everyone else in the changing room, and you feel inspired yourself, you feel motivated, and you feel confident yourself. Not that I ever lack in confidence in any point during the week, but it was just seeing those guys warm up and being around Paul in the gym every day. It really does motivate me. And I've said it before in an interview, this is a 22-year-old kid. He should be learning from me, but it's the other way around. I'm always being motivated and inspired by Paul and his behaviors in and out of the cage. So it's great to have him in the gym. He's a fantastic team member for the gym. He'll do everything for the team. He's just great to have about, and he's a good spar as well. So yeah, it's brilliant having him about.
And you mentioned Ian Gary there too. There's kind of Team KF are coming up now. There seems to be, with Cage Warriors coming to Cork as well, it seems as if there's a bit of an Irish revolution or a resurgence in Cage Warriors. Do you feel that yourself as well? Obviously, Reese McKee, a lad you're very familiar with and have trained with and sparred with. And, does it feel like they're really kind of putting a lot of emphasis on the Irish market now, and there is a bit of a resurgence in Cage Warriors, like kind of the new era of Irish in Cage Warriors?
Yeah, I think so. Cage Warriors know that. That's why they're coming back over to Cork to have a show. They've got fighters there that can sell out the national basketball. It's not the national basketball arena. It's the
Neptune Stadium.
So they've got guys there that can put on a good show. I mean, as you said, there's Ian Gary, Paul Hughes, the young guys coming through, and there's other young guys like John Mitchell, top level fighter. There's a handful of guys, in teams all across Ireland that could be performing on Cage Warriors that night. There's loads of us to choose from. We're high level over here, and I think it seems quite divided. Actually, you've got half the country fighting on Bellator and the other half fighting on Cage Warriors now. So it's SBG, Bellator, everyone else Cage Warriors.
Did you watch
regardless
the show?
of who you fight? I did, and it was good. I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. I was annoyed that I didn't get to watch the Wooding Malabo fight. I just saw a highlight, and it was high level. So I wish I got to see that. But I watched all the other fights that weren't on tape today, and it was really good. I was really impressed with Peter Queally. I thought his comeback was very impressive, really, really impressive. I actually think Ryan Scope was beaten mentally before the fight. I actually had a bet on, and normally I would have picked Scope over Quilly, but having watched Ryan Scope do an interview with, I think it was Sean Sheehan, I thought he's just like, I think he's like not, I just got that feeling that he wasn't in the fight, and I could even see it during the fight. He just didn't seem himself, but and I think that's probably because of the crowd. But anyway, listen, all the fights were really, really good. I was impressed with it.
Yeah, and so
but yes, to your earlier point, the fighters in Ireland are all top notch, and they're all getting to display how good they are on the top shows now. They got Bellator and Cage Warriors, so there's plenty to go around.
Yeah, and so Cage Warriors obviously returning to Cork next month. We kind of talked previously, Joe, about whether you kind of be on that Cork show or maybe at a later date. You've had a lot of back and forth with Paddy Pimblett. I know you've spoke with Niall McGrath before on Off the Ball about how you didn't think that Paddy was game for that fight. Do you think that you'll get that Paddy Pimblett fight? Is that still what you're going for? Or he's obviously set for the London show. Are you dead set on Cork now, or what's your plan for your next fight?
I was speaking to Cage Warriors in last night, and it's confirmed that I will be on Cork. I wanted to fight on London. I felt like, I needed a couple of more weeks in terms of my preparation, because I just came off that war. I didn't really want to be jumping back into sparring so soon. So having an extra couple of weeks would have been great for my preparation, but you know what? It is what it is. I can't fight on London, and I don't want to wait till next year to fight, so I'll have to fight on Cork. And I asked for Paddy Pimblett, but I get the same answer I get every time, and it's no. Cage Warriors don't want it. I really doubt Paddy Pimblett wants it either. He must look at me and think I'm stylistically the hardest matchup for him in the lightweight division. I know he'll say otherwise, but I've looked at this from an unbiased point of view, and I can't see where he would beat me. He throws on submissions out of nowhere, but he does it from people trying to take him down. I wouldn't be trying to take him down, or he does it from the ground, and I just don't see how he'd be able to get me down. So,
do you think that fight will ever be made? Like, I suppose if you is there a message that you have for Paddy Pimblett now that you have a platform? No.
I said them like in those interactions on Twitter. I was like, this is the last time I'll ever call you out, so I'll not be calling them out again. Yeah. If Cage Warriors make it, they'll come and ask me, but I'm not going to go and ask for that fight ever again. It's embarrassing now, the amount of times I've asked for it. And for him to say that there's no action, like, I love mentioning his name with no action. Like I'm publicly saying that I'll fight you. Why is there no action there? I'm personally messaging Graham Boylan and Ian Dean about it, and they can attest to that. So I don't see where there's no action. It would be a handy fight for me, and that's what I was looking for. Coming off a war, I wanted it to be a handy fight, and I thought Paddy Pimblett would have been good for that. But listen, to be honest, I don't think it'll. I just can't see it happening ever. So I'll not be asking for it again. I'll fight whoever they give me, and I don't think it's ever going to be Paddy Pimblett, although it would be good.
And so, just another question too, Joe. I really appreciate your time here. When you look at the lightweight division in Cage Warriors, you're obviously going to be on that Cork show. Who do you see yourself fighting? There's a lot of fighters who, the lightweight division seems to be stacked at the moment in Cage Warriors, but everyone seems to have everyone has fought everyone, or not everyone has fought everyone, but there's a lot of overlap. Many people have beaten others. If we look, this Jack Grant, Joy Herbert, Paddy Pimblett, Donovan Desmay, Tim Barnett, Mason Jones. A lot of them seem to be already matched up. So who do you see? Like Joy Herbert's fighting Kane, I'm going to butcher this name, Carrizosa. He's defending his title. Jack Grant was it supposed to be on that Birmingham card, but I don't think he's been matched up yet. So who are you kind of eyeing up as an opponent?
Actually, I don't know. I who I fight, so it's kind of whoever Ian gives me. I'll leave it up to him. As you said, I think a lot of people are tied up at the moment. Well, all the top contenders are already tied up, so I don't think I'm going to be getting any of those guys. I reckon Desmond and Paddy Pimblett are going to fight in London. I doubt Burnett's going to be coming back soon. And then Jack Grant and Jai Herbert are both fighting on Birmingham, and Mason Jones and the Finnish lad they're going to be fighting in 2 weeks' time. So I mean, they're not options. So I don't really know. They'll probably have to fly some fell over.
Do you think the Jack Grant fight could happen?
The Jack Grant fight?
Yeah, so he was announced, like, when a while back, Cage Warriors announced that the Birmingham card was coming. It was mentioned, I think it was back in July, that Jack Grant was targeted for that card. I haven't seen any announcements yet of an actual fight, so could that be an opponent that would be brought over to Cork?
Absolutely, yeah. Ian Dean is due to be sending us their opponents now, so I wasn't aware. I thought he was going to be fighting in Birmingham, so that absolutely could be an option. I mean, that he would be the only one out of the contenders that I think would be available then if he's not fighting in Birmingham. So let's see what Ian Dean says. I actually have him. I fought Jack Grant before at amateur in my third fight. He beat me, so he beat me by like a toe hold. So yeah, get the rematch against him.
Yeah. And so last question. Obviously, your last loss was to Jai Herbert, who's now gone on. He's won his last 2 fights and is now the champion. How far away do you see yourself from kind of getting up towards that title shot to a rematch with Jai or whoever would be holding that title?
I've been in a position before where I felt like I was one fight off a title shot. And at that time it was my focus to get the title shot, and that was when I fought Jai Herbert. And it didn't really work out in my way. So I don't really want to think too far ahead from fights now. I just want to focus on the fight that's in front of me.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I would say I just don't know. It depends on who they give me. If they fly over a can to fight, I'm obviously not going to be fighting for a title after beating someone who's not known. But if I beat a top contender, then I'd be calling for my shot. I would love to see a tournament between all the contenders. As you said, the lightweight division is absolutely stacked. The quality of lightweights that we have in Cage Warriors it's unmatched from any other division and any other promotion within Europe. So why not get all of us to fight in a tournament? And it doesn't have to be a 4-man tournament. Why not put on an 8-man tournament? We've got 8 guys that would have the skills to be able to hold that belt. So why not let us face off against each other, all of us? Put us in an 8-man tournament. It doesn't have to be run over one night. We could run it over a couple of shows. I think that would be a good approach early 2020. So, but as I said, I'm just going to focus on the fight that's in front of me whenever that gets announced, and take it from there. Move into 2020 with a record of 6-2 and try and take out the big names after that.
That sounds good to me anyway. Joe, all right, I won't call you Fat Joe. Maybe Skinny Joe McColgan. That could be the new one.
Joe, yeah.
Until we find a better nickname.
Malnourished.
So, are you going by the SPG Hunter then again, or has that been put to bed?
Well, SPG are all tied up with Bellator, so I don't think there's any opportunity with SPG unless they want to fly me over and fight Keeper Crosby on his debut fight at lightweight. I would absolutely love that fight. Just for a one-off cross-promotional fight. Then I could bring back the SPG Hunter name just for that one fight. But other than that, I don't see an opportunity to use that name anymore. Unfortunately,
we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah,
Joe McColgan, really appreciate your time. Cheers. Thanks very much. Best of luck in Cork.
Thanks.
Cheers.